Alrighty, welcome back. So we finally made it to the video where we're going to discuss how we can open up the MySQL shell. And it's really simple. Whenever you first created your container and you checked those two boxes, one for installing MySQL and the other for installing mysql-ctl, you automatically had everything set up for you. So now all you need to do to start up the MySQL shell is run a really simple command. So normally you would want to start a MySQL server in the background before you open the shell. Fortunately for us, the script that runs the shell for us does that automatically. But just for the sake of showing you what's happening in the background, we'll cover those commands for starting and stopping the MySQL server also. So to start the server, we type mysql-ctl. So this stands for MySQL Command Tool, and then a space, and then the word start. And so the mysql-ctl is going to preface all of the commands that we're going to learn in this video. I say all of, but there's only 3 commands, and we're only really going to be using one of them. So here's the command for starting the server. If you hit enter, it'll tell you that it started the MySQL database server. Now if you want to stop it, you probably guessed it, it's mysql-ctl space stop. So when you press enter, it stops the server, and now the server's turned off. Now lucky for us, this next command actually stops any existing servers and then starts a brand new one every time that we run it, and then after it does that, it starts up the MySQL shell. Now the shell is important because that's where we run all the commands that we'll be learning in the rest of the course. So that command's really simple. It's mysql-ctl space CLI. And CLI stands for command line interface, which is synonymous with the shell that we've been referring to. So now if we press enter, it's going to stop the server and then start it, just like those 2 previous commands that we discussed. And now it says checking for tables which need an upgrade, are corrupt, or were not closed cleanly. So this is just a routine process that happens when you start up the shell. Now it's asking for a password. At this point, you may be thinking, well, I don't remember setting up a password. And you don't because we didn't. Fortunately, the way it's set up, there is no password. So all you have to do here is leave it blank and press enter. Now that you've pressed enter, it starts up the MySQL shell. You can see some information about the version of MySQL, but the important thing here is to notice MySQL with the greater than sign and then your blinking cursor. Down here is where you're going to type all the MySQL commands that you'll learn in the rest of the course. So you can do a really simple one right now. Just type select, put a space, 1 plus 1, and then a semicolon, and press enter. And it'll return this nice little table here with 1 plus 1 in the top row and then 2 in the bottom row, which of course is the result of 1 plus 1. And that just lets us know that everything's working properly. Great. So how do we get out of the shell back into the bash terminal? Well, there's a couple different ways. My favorite is just to type exit and press enter. That'll say bye, you'll have exited, and it'll return you back to the terminal. Now, if you want the other way, I'll show you that really quickly as well. Let's go ahead and type the command that we just learned to restart the MySQL shell, or the CLI, which was mysql-ctl space CLI. It's going to ask us for that password. Of course, whenever it does, we're just going to leave it blank and press enter. Now we're back to the MySQL prompt, which has the greater than sign and then the blinking cursor. Now if we want to exit, we can type exit, or we can press Control and C. You'll notice it doesn't say bye, it says exit, and then it says aborted. Basically, this is kind of a harsh way to abort the process. There's nothing wrong with it, but if you want to do it the quote-unquote nice way, you type exit. If you want to do it the simple and fast way, you just use the keyboard shortcut, Control plus C. Either way is totally fine, and it's up to you which one you decide to use. So again, the stop and start commands are rolled up into the CLI command that we learned. So the main one that you're going to use for the rest of the videos is mysql-ctl CLI. When prompted for a password, you'll just leave it blank and press enter. And then once you're inside of the MySQL shell, you'll see the word MySQL with a greater than sign and a blinking cursor. You can then start typing in SQL queries that you'll be learning later on in the course. And of course, when you're done working and you want to exit, just press Control C or type exit and then press enter. That's it for this video. Go ahead and try those commands out. Make sure that you're comfortable with them before moving on to the next video, and we'll see you then. Thanks.